Hello, passengers, co-pilots, shotgun callers, blunderbuss bellowers, and midnight riders. Welcome to another episode of Full Moon Empty Road. As always, I'm Jeremy, and I'll be your driver tonight. Hope everyone had a great week, and I hope you're ready for another road trip. We're headed outside of the country again, but this time, rather than visiting a specific place, we're going to be looking at a specific entity. We're headed to Japan to visit the Kuchisake-Onna. So let's take to the skies. We have work to do. So, I hadn't actually heard of the Kuchisake-Onna until maybe 3 to 5 years ago when Seth Andrews featured a segment of it on his Ghost Stories episode of the Thinking Atheist podcast. And having Japanese ancestry, that particular topic jumped out at me. Actually, his Ghost Stories segment that he does once a year around Halloween time was one of my inspirations to start my own podcast about creepy places and things. So, just a little backstory about me. Anyway, it looks like we're getting ready to land. So come on, let's go meet the Kuchisake-Onna. Well, here we are. My first episode based out of Japan. Well, based in Japan. I guess based out of Japan wouldn't be right. I'm nowhere near Asia, so. But yeah, first episode based in Japan, and I've actually been looking forward to doing one of these for a while, but kind of just wanted to, I don't know, stick with stateside and not have to deal with pronunciations and y'all listening to a hillbilly try to say the Kuchisake-Onna. So let's dive right in. So the Kuchisake-Onna is an entity of Japanese folklore, and this dates back to the Edo period, also known as the Tokugawa period of Japan. The name Kuchisake-Onna translates to the Slit-Mouthed woman. She's an onryo, or a malicious spirit, that covers the bottom half of her face with a mask or sensu fan and carries around a sharp object. Now, that sharp object is usually a pair of scissors. Most of the lore is that she carries around a pair of scissors, but it can really be anything. Pair of scissors, a knife. I'm sure there's some seen, with a razor or something. I say seen, but there are probably different versions of it that deal with all manner of different weaponry. The top half of her face is considered beautiful, and she is described as having pale skin and long, straight black hair. She's also said to possess incredible supernatural speed. Now, as stated before, the Kuchisake-Onna is believed to be a woman who lived in the Edo period. One legend says that she was the wife of a samurai, and the samurai, being constantly away at war, led to the woman becoming lonely and having affairs with other men in town. The samurai, having found out about the affairs, punished his wife by cutting her face from the corners of her mouth to her ears. Another legend states that her face was mutilated during a medical or dental procedure. Another woman, jealous of her beauty, sliced her face in the same manner as the story of the samurai husband, because that's my general day-to-day is I'm going to meet people far more attractive than me, and I've never really looked at them and went, I'm going to carve your face up. So I guess either A, I'm not as unhinged as I feel sometimes, or I don't know. I don't know if there was a B side to that, but either way, I couldn't imagine just everybody meets someone who has a face that needs to be kicked or punched or something, but I've never met anyone and been like, I just need to carve your face up. Other legends state that aside from the slices on her face, that her mouth is full of razor sharp teeth. So I guess in some legends she does have the slit mouth, but it's full of teeth. Now, of the different legends that are out there and the different stories, I didn't really read anything that mentioned that maybe she would bite or anything like that. So, and I really didn't see anything about her having razor sharp teeth. It was more just the knife or the scissors. So, though it is said that the Kuchisake-Onna dates back to the 17th and 19th centuries, stories of the entity began to crop back up in the 1970s. On January 26th, 1979, a newspaper from the Gifu prefecture called Gifu Nichi Nichi Shinbun reported on the phenomenon. Other publications, such as the Shukan Ashai and the Shukan Shinsho, reported on the Kuchisake-Onna on March 23, 1979 and April 5th, 1979, respectively. Rumors began to spread through Japan, and the kids began being walked home from school by parent-teacher organizations. So this cropped back up after, which I mean, I don't think it necessarily ever went dormant. This is an urban legend, and a lot of those are used to, pass down to the next generation. But, it cropped back up in the 1970s, and I guess to avoid the possibility of this not being just an urban legend, parent-teacher organizations decided, all right, we need to walk our kids home after school. And I get it. And it's a matter of superstition. And I mean, I'm not particularly superstitious. I don't believe in the lucky rabbit's foot or hanging a horseshoe in the house or something like that, but I get the mentality of it, because I've just growing up as a kid, you always had your this is my lucky this or that. So but these days, if you encounter the Kuchisake-Onna, she will ask you a question. She is said to ask potential victims if they think she's attractive, often phrased as watashi kirei, which translates to am I pretty or am I beautiful. If the person answers no, she'll kill the person with her weapon, and if the person answers yes, she will reveal her mutilated mouth. She then repeats her question, or she'll ask kore demo, which translates to even with this or even now. And if the person responds with no or screams in fright, she will kill the person with her weapon. If the response is yes, she will slice the corners of the person's mouth from ear to ear, resembling her own disfigurement. An individual can survive an encounter with the Kuchisake-Onna by using one or several methods. In some versions of the legend, the Kuchisake-Onna will leave the potential victim alone if they answer yes to both of her questions. Though in other versions, she will visit the individual's residence later that night and murder the person while they sleep. Other survival tactics include replying to the Kuchisake-Onna's question by describing her appearance as average. So imagine doing that, So is that my wonder is that the first time or the second time she asks? She comes up and says, watashi kirei. Are you going to say, meh, you're all right? Or is it going to be watashi kirei, you say yes, and she repeats the question, or asks kore demo, and you're like, the kore demo is after she's taken the mask down to show her disfigurement, and she asks, well, how about now? And you're just like, nah, you're all right. I mean, I give you one good run. That's about it, I don't know. That just, that's an interesting way to, I guess, to handle that. Anywho, Aside from describing her appearance as average, that will give the individual enough time to run away, distracting her. Also, by giving or throwing money or hard candy at her, particularly the kind of candy known as Beko-ame, made of caramelized sugar. Stories say that you throwing that in her direction and then running away, she will stop to pick up the candy, or by saying the word pomade 3 times. So I don't. Am I pretty? Sure. How about now? Pomade, pomade, pomade. This is less of a Dark Words, Dark Things episode and more of a comedy today. And I mean, you know what? If I'm the only one that thinks I'm funny, I don't care. I'm enjoying myself. The Kuchisake-Onna has appeared in live-action films as well as in manga, anime, and video games. The character appears in the 1994 animated film Pompoko, produced by Studio Ghibli, and later appears in the 1996 live-action short film Kuchisake-Onna, directed by Teruyoshi Ishii. That's a lot of Ishis. She's also mentioned in the 1998 film The Ring, directed by Hideo Nakata. And in 2007, the film Carved, The Slit-Mouthed Woman, also known under the titles Kuchisake-Onna or A Slit-Mouthed Woman, directed by Koji Shirashi and featuring Miki Mizuno as Kuchisake-Onna, was released. The film was followed by Carved 2, The Scissors Massacre, also known as Kuchisake-Onna 2, and The Slit-Mouthed Woman 0, The Beginning, or Kuchisake-Onna 0, Beginningu, both of which were released in 2008. The Kuchisake-Onna character later appeared in the 2012 film Kuchisake-Onna Returns, as well as in the webcomic Mob Psycho 100. Aside from all that, Kuchisake-Onna was also the basis of the character that appears in the episode Dance Vado of the American television series Constantine. And again, this is just an urban legend, so it's mostly just stories that have been passed down or where she's appeared in pop culture. There's nothing really in terms of eyewitness accounts because, you know, we'll just stick with its folklore, its urban legend. But you know, it's always the first, like I say, the first time I heard it was through Seth Andrews, and I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of the different folklore and stuff that he talks about in that Ghost Stories episode that I would like to cover. It may need to be something, I don't know, you know, y'all let me know, because this is going to run maybe 15, 16 minutes, but there's only 11 minutes worth of content. But, you know, if y'all would rather hear something like international entities and all, maybe like put 3 together in an episode like I usually do, or just spotlight one and have a shorter episode, I can absolutely do that. So we are going to wind down the episode here. I want to say thank you so much for stopping in today and checking out the episode. I hope you enjoyed listening to the Kuchisake-Onna as much as I enjoyed writing an episode for it. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at FMER Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at FullMoonMTRD, and you can find me on TikTok, Full Moon Empty Road. I also, if you want to drop me a line and, you know, either suggest a short story like I usually read or upload throughout the week, or if you want to suggest a place or a person or something to cover, you can reach out to me at either one of those social media places, or you can email me fullmoonemptyroad@gmail.com. And I want to make mention, this past week, my brother started his own podcast, and his is called Spines and Spirits. It is Right now, they're covering the first book, The Name of the Wind, the first book of the King Killer Chronicle, written by Patrick Rothfuss. Hence the name Spines. It's kind of like a book, like a podcast book club. It's him, his wife, and a longtime friend of our family. But the name Spines comes from the spine of a book, because that's the book they're covering. Spirits is nothing related to what I do. They last week it was I think Davies County bourbon that they sipped on, so their spirits are sipping spirits. But you can find them, Spines and Spirits podcast, on just about every social media out there. I think they even have a Reddit section, and they're also on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Go check them out. I know, I mean, I'm nothing special or anything myself, but I know what it's like that first little bit where you're trying to get off the ground. And I mean, I'm still not fully off the ground myself, you know, but I know how slow going the early stages are, and then how slow going after I guess the middle chunk is. But you know, go check them out, like, subscribe, send them some kind words, whatever you want to do. Also, moving on from that, you can, if you're interested, you can pick up a t-shirt, Full Moon Empty Road t-shirt from Bonfire. You can find that link in the About section of the YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure it's on all of my social medias, but the YouTube channel's About section is probably the easiest place to find it. And if you don't want to buy a shirt, buy me a coffee. You can find the link on YouTube on the About Me section, or the About section there as well. But again, I want to thank everyone for stopping in today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let's board the plane and let's go home.